The 1989 Batman film, directed by Tim Burton, stands as one of the most critically important and influential films in the superhero genre. It is a film that's influences can still be seen today, especially with all of the new Marvel and DC movies being created. Because of its unique over-the-top marketing, its loyalty to the selected source material, its amazing casting choices, and its unforgettable ambient soundtrack, Tim Burton's 1989 masterpiece remains an inspiring and influential film that set a new standard for superhero movies to follow. The marketing of Tim Burton's Batman was unlike anybody had ever seen up to that point. The Superman trailer demonstrates the simplicity of the marketing prior to Tim Burton's Batman.
A Man Can Fly. Rated PG. Opening at theaters December 15th.
The merchandising rose to new heights with over 130 toys, clothing, and bubblegum cards available for purchase. It was nearly impossible to escape the hype of this movie with things such as Batman-themed cereal and television specials with Adam West, the star from the 1960s Batman TV show. Even Prince produced an album that would serve as a portion of the movie's soundtrack to advertise the film. The most popular of these songs were The Bat Dance and Party Man. These music videos would air on cable music channels about every hour to advertise the film. This in-your-face marketing style worked, with the Batman movie setting box office records by earning its first $100 million quicker than any movie in history up to that point. This marketing style helped to set a trend in movies that helped to further define the meaning of the summertime blockbuster. The movie that resulted under Tim Burton's supervision was obviously nothing like the Batman of old. The 1968 Batman television show consisted of child-friendly humor, as well as censored action scenes, with flashes of words like bam, pow, and thwop. Tim Burton, however, decided to take his inspiration from a Batman graphic novel released in 1988 called The Killing Joke. The twisted and dark themes from this book intrigued Burton, which ended up resulting in the Batman that is anything but a children's movie. With scenes where the Joker electrocutes people, shoots people, and dismembers his girlfriend's face, superheroes were no longer a children's story. This dramatic turn in direction changed the idea of superhero movies forever, and challenged creators to take risks to explore the characters they were portraying. The casting for the Batman movie was another massive factor that helped the film be successful. First off, Tim Burton's reputation was on the rise after Beetlejuice in 1988. This helped give the film credibility and have a larger initial fan base. Tim Burton was simply the right man to make this movie at the right time. His casting choices only gave the film further credibility and reason to see it. His choice for the role of Batman was Michael Keaton, whom Burton worked with a year earlier for Beetlejuice. This was a controversial choice at the time, because Burton was historically a comedic actor. However, this turned out to be a genius move, as Keaton was able to play the serious role magnificently. While this was a crucial factor for the film's success, the real showstopper was the man who played the Joker, Jack Nicholson. Being the lead role for the cult classic 1980 film The Shining, everybody at the time was well aware of Nicholson's creepy and unsettling presence in movies. Because of the partnership between this weird director and these two well-known actors, the hype for this movie rose beyond measure and delivered a fantastic final product. Finally, the masterpiece of a soundtrack and the way it is used sets the mood depending on the scene. A great example of where this is used is in a scene where the Joker is destroying priceless paintings in the Gotham Museum, directly after murdering everybody inside. The song that plays is Party Man by Prince. This song complements the scene because it shows the twisted fun the Joker truly desires. The pop dance music that is played invokes a feeling of being energized. Dance music that has a faster, steady beat produces a feel-good reaction. This is a great song choice because it shows the audience that the Joker perceives things such as vandalism, death, and destruction to be fun. Also, the song choice is able to relate the audience to the Joker, as it takes the scene from being a horrible atrocity to an enjoyable, lighthearted comic relief moment. Another scene that demonstrates the brilliance of the composition is the famous cathedral scene. The composition provides absolute suspense during the climax of the story arc. Scientific studies show that classical and orchestral music have a way of capturing listeners' attention. This music fits well with the scene because it forces the audience to the edge of their seats, and it makes one want to know how the story is going to end. The stakes are at their highest, as the Joker has the girl at gunpoint, Batman is falling behind and may not be able to catch up, and the setting around them is crumbling to pieces. The sound brings all these elements together to create a perfect build-up scene. To conclude, nearly 30 years after the initial release of this monumental film, its influences on the current superhero genre can still be seen today. From Spider-Man to Iron Man and even the Dark Knight trilogy, it is obvious that Tim Burton's Batman set a necessary precedent for all superhero movies to fulfill. Because of the film's use of unique, over-the-top marketing, its loyalty to the selected source material, its appropriate casting choices, and its magnificent use of the soundtrack, Batman continues to be a timeless classic that inspires future films for generations to come.
Bob? Gun. Going to need a minute or two alone, boys.